in, yes, we're doing it at the request of Sujiti and Nandita, who usually live in Dehradun. They're passing through Delhi. And they were some of our stalwarts in the past, pre-COVID, coming to pujas and bringing very healthy food for the pujas, which is some of it stacked here. So they requested a puja, and they couldn't do it on Tuesday, which is our normal puja day. So we thought to do today. Yeah. And is there too much feedback? It's not too loud. And if there are background noises coming from the Zoom, then someone will need to put them all on silent. Sometimes there is strange sounds. And household issues start erupting in the background.
I will manage.
Dogs.
I am close. I will manage the mic.
Kabirji, I have a question about
Please.
the puja.
Please.
So once, I think Jimmy Neal had done it, and
Yes.
we did prostrations while the puja was going on.
Very good. You want to do?
Yeah.
You
I
would
have
like to
an
do?
impulse to do prostrations.
Then you can do when we come to the Tara praises, because every verse of the Tara praise, which you'll find in the Tara booklet, has that chasel in Tibetan, homage to you, you know, at the beginning of every verse. So at that point you can do prostrations. That's good. That's very good imprint for all of us to see somebody doing prostrations. We can't give you a proper board though. You're okay doing on the carpet, no? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. All right. So for those who are not familiar, we don't have time to explain everything, but you know the essence of what we're doing here, especially these 2 weeks after Tibetan New Year. Excuse me. I've developed some tickle. What we're trying to do is generate as much positive energy as possible in our minds, so that we can, so we can wake up out of the slumber or ignorance, the pain of attachment and anger and pride and jealousy and all the rest of it. Yeah. So we can let go of that and develop what we call in Buddhism very often our Buddha nature. This is a pristine, marvelous state, the seed of which we have within us. In other words, Buddha, we shouldn't see as something very, very far away, up in the sky, and we are down here, you know, awful, terrible, sinful people. We all have the potential to become Buddha, okay, a fully awakened person, and with qualities of universal love, compassion, wisdom, and the powerful capacity, skillful means to benefit others, you know, in really amazing ways. Of course, others have to be ready for it and open to it, but we would have extraordinary capacities to help others if we were to generate the awakened state. So, you know, these practices, whether it's the preliminary so-called, which we'll be doing some, or whether it's the mantra of the medicine Buddha, or the mantra and praises to Tara, they're all aimed at, you could say, getting rid of the garbage which is covering up Buddha nature. It's like, you know, there's a lot of garbage piled on top of this jewel of the mind that we all have. So there's a gradual process of getting rid of that. These are very gross words we're using, concepts, but I think you get a little bit of the idea. There's a lot of stains and dirt and projections and conditioning, habitual patterns in our mind, which lead to suffering and confusion. So by doing these kind of practices with the right motivation, it's possible to begin to really clean up this potentially marvelous mind, whose potential our teachers say we really have very little idea of right now. It's extraordinary potential, our minds, rather than just body or external objects. So when we practice, whatever we're doing today, it's to awaken the inner guru or the inner Buddha. It's the same, the inner guide through these practices of Tara, who's the female Buddha, or the Liberator, because of particular qualities of being connected with the wind energy, so potentially very powerful, quick, enlightened energy she represents, and also freedom from fear, from the fears of conditioned existence, which of course all Buddhas are also connected with that. And then the healing Buddha, medicine Buddha, which is a very special practice because, what is healing Buddha? In one sense, of course, it's the one manifestation of our own Buddha nature, okay? But we could say that the great beings of the past, some of them who are still on the path to enlightenment, they made special, profound prayers that they could be of benefit to others at a future time, which they could foresee when there would be a lot of disturbances in the world, in samsara, in famine and disease, and conflict and so forth, which is what we're seeing. And they made special prayers that their practice, the practice of healing Buddha, would be very, very important and powerful at this time. So that's why we engage in the medicine Buddha practice. And so when you ask what is the difference between the healing Buddha and Arya Tara, well, in terms of their mind, you could say no difference, right? They are Buddhas. Both are Buddhas. But the manifestation is different because we need different. It's like we all need food, but different people prefer different kinds of food. So Tara will be most beneficial for certain people, or more beneficial, and medicine Buddha for certain others, perhaps. So one has particular connection with various Buddhas. So I want to welcome Venerable Tenzin, Tenzin Sanjay, an old acquaintance, friend who's been doing 2 months retreat in Bodh Gaya, usually based in Nalanda Monastery in the south of France, studying and practicing there. So most welcome. Traditionally, we would ask him to lead the puja, but I think it's a bit unfair because we do it in our particular lazy Tushita style, enjoyable but lazy. And if we asked Tenzin, then we would still be here, at midnight probably. So I'm not going to ask him to lead the puja. I'm joking, but anyway, most welcome. Thank you for joining us. So it'll be a kind of a hybrid and very unusual to your ears program, but you'll have to forgive because also some beginners here. Okay. So I think without further ado, let's all together generate a very strong motivation, meaning incentive, motivation for practice. We all know how much pain and suffering there is in this world. And we also have experience of it in our own lives, all kinds of things, right? Subtle, gross. And this has been going on, according to Lord Buddha and our teachers, since beginningless time. It's not just something that started at birth. It's been going on beginninglessly. So if we were really to think about it deeply, it would be almost like terrifying, the extent of and the duration of what we have all been going through. And we see right now certain beings going through almost, we would say, hellish-like experiences, although there is a separate category of hell beings in the Buddhist universe. But even just looking at what so many humans are suffering right now, it's so painful what they're going through. We've seen the images. So, like a friend of mine who stayed awake all night and was even crying after seeing some of these images, and then painted because she's an artist. She decided to paint the Ukrainian flag on her large windows in Mumbai because she just felt it so strongly. And I'm not saying we should all do that, but let us take time to actually acknowledge and, feel the pain of the world, the pain of humans, the pain of animals. And Buddha, of course, mentioned at least 4 other categories of beings, all of whom lead painful, unsatisfactory existences. Why? Because they're still dominated by ignorance, attachment, grasping mind, anger, and so forth. So let's rejoice that we're able to be here together to practice, especially people, who have missed Tushita, and this ability to be together is wonderful. So let's together generate this very strong motivation that our practice here together be not just, something that we do to pass the time or because it's enjoyable, but may really have an effect on our minds and dedicate that positive energy to the happiness and welfare of living beings. So please spend some time reflecting on dukkha, Buddha's first noble truth of suffering, and think how wonderful it would be if we could, all of us, help enable others to be free of their suffering. And all of these beings want to be happy, just like you and me. They don't want to suffer at all, just like you and me. And of course, we depend on others totally for everything we use. Even our body came from others, from our parents. We totally depend on, we say, the kindness of others, the kindness of other beings. However much they irritate us or give us a hard time sometimes, actually we depend on others. And even those who harm us, through that we may even learn something and develop even more patience and courage, forbearance. So we'll start with some medicine Buddha practice. And if you have the sadhana in front of you, we are going to do some prayers starting from page 7. We don't need to get so involved with the visualization, but where is the, okay, that I should have done. Could somebody be so kind as just to pick up the medicine Buddha? Thanks, maybe that's okay, Anjali. Sorry, just to show people, those who don't know what medicine Buddha looks like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope that's medicine Buddha. Yes, that's the main medicine Buddha, dark blue in color. You can just bring here. And I think Anjali hasn't seen before. So yeah, it's And of course, we visualize in the nature of light on a beautiful lotus. I was going to put it there, but it's okay. We can, Tara also is there. So, but I think most of us know what Tara looks like. Thanks, Nidhan. So we can imagine this being of light, and, okay, color and all. It's not the main thing, but the main thing is to imagine there is a being who has tremendous love and compassion for us and everybody without any kind of distinction, and great wisdom and the ability to help, to guide us, and is connected with is the same essence of our Guru, you know? Yeah. You might actually want to put them where His Holiness is. Just in front of His Holiness, you can fit Tara and Medicine Buddha. His Holiness won't mind. We have His Holiness up on the wall in two places. You can actually take His Holiness out of the way. Sorry, I should have done this earlier. And then I'm thinking, take His Holiness off there and put him on the main throne. And then there's Tara over there next to the fasting Buddha. So Medicine Buddha and Tara can share that space. Yeah. Yeah. Just behind. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Nandita. That is Tara there, right? Yeah. Tara and the 21 Taras, 21 different manifestations. So you can put Medicine Buddha covering half of that space. Yeah. And make sure the kata doesn't catch fire. Great. So you see they're sharing quite happily that space. Yeah. And behind them, Maitreya Buddha in the teaching posture. So great, thank you. That's good. That's good. So I will, for auspiciousness, request Venerable to start the recitation of the refuge in Tibetan. You can read the English there. I go for refuge, etc. Okay. So Venerable, if you could just 3 times have the refuge in Tibetan, please. An extraordinary verse that we go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my practice of giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. And then we can just go through the 4 immeasurables just to get an idea, although we don't have time to reflect on them. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from the happiness that is without suffering. And may all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from both attachment and hatred, free from holding some close and others distant. And then what's called special bodhicitta, meaning a very intense, urgent sense that, one really must quickly attain, this awakened state, because beings are suffering. It's like one feels one mustn't lose a moment to get enlightened because, beings are suffering so much. Like a mother wanting to quickly, call the doctor or get the medicine for her sick child, really quite urgent, intense about it, especially for the benefit of all sentient beings, very quickly. attain the precious state of perfect and complete Buddhahood. And for this reason, I will practice the yoga method of Guru Medicine Buddha. I prostrate to Guru Medicine Buddha. So imagine, those who wish, that we are doing a full length prostration to Medicine Buddha out of great respect, for also our own inner Buddha nature, the inner Guru, which we are working to ignite, to awaken. Then we make offerings. We've made offerings on the altar, but here we also include those that are mentally transformed, meaning we can visualize, you see, through the power of the mind, vast offerings filling the whole of space, okay? So we have 8 kinds of offerings: water for washing, water for drinking. So beautiful, you can imagine them being offered in very beautiful containers, streams of water. Then flowers, all kinds of beautiful flowers, you know. Then we have incense, swirling incense, which pacifies the mind upon smelling it. Very wonderful incense. And light, beautiful lights, you know, like some exquisite, super sort of, Diwali or fireworks show, whatever. Beautiful lights throughout space being offered to the Buddhas, the Gurus. Not that they need all these things, but we need to offer to open our minds. Buddhas don't need anything from us. What they would be most happy is for us to practice the teachings. But we offer to create positive energy in our mind. So then after light, perfumes, wonderful perfumes we offer. Then food, fruits, and so forth, of all kinds. Beautifully arrayed, you know, like some divine, you know, 5-star hotel, even better, you know, throughout space. And then music, divine music that brings exquisite, non-grasping bliss to the mind. When Buddhas enjoy, they don't grasp, there's no attachment. It's a kind of pure enjoyment. So we imagine they're enjoying in that way, without, you know, thinking, oh, I want more, or being disappointed when it's over. For them, it's continuous bliss. Then, important, I confess, the third of this so-called 7 limb is I confess all my, you know, unwholesome, non-virtuous actions that I've done. We've done many negative things in this life and in beginningless lives, all kinds of things. So here we acknowledge and we regret, without beating ourselves up or getting too guilty, but we regret because these things inhibit our ability to wake up and to benefit others. So we sincerely regret the negative actions we've done, and we, as much as possible, we think I'm going to avoid them in the future as much as I can. Next, very important, and as we do these prayers, we're doing it for the, you know, for both pujas. Otherwise, if one were just doing Tara practice, one would do this same 7 limb before the Tara. So here it's doing it for both practices. So here we rejoice in what? In the virtues and the positive energy of ordinary and noble beings. Noble beings are those who have really gone to a different gear, you could say, different level, through having realized the truth in a very deep way. So they are called noble beings. And ordinary beings are those of us who are still caught up in dualism, dualistic thinking, confusion, etc. So here, first we have to rejoice in our own goodness, our own good actions. That's very important. We've all done something. We've all done good things, said things that are helpful, thought, beneficial, loving thoughts. We've all done something like that. So remember it and rejoice, thinking how wonderful it is. Wonderful it is. So we don't just think of the negative things, just think of all the positive things you've done. Wow, think how wonderful it is. Be happy. Why? Because these things create happiness. And by rejoicing, we create more confidence and positive energy in our mind. How wonderful it is. Even small actions benefiting others. I think wonderful. And then think of positive things that your friends, your Dharma friends, other people you know do. Maybe they do a lot more than you. So here rejoicing is very important because it acts as an antidote to competitiveness and envy, which are very big problems. Even between people who are close, there can be a lot of envy. So here we rejoice. Someone has done something good or better than you, or more good action, whatever. Think how wonderful it is. Wonderful, good, because that is also increasing, see, happiness. Think of that. How wonderful it is. Be happy at others' virtue, at their happiness. And this is very important also for us, people who are richer, taller, or whatever we consider better. Those who rejoice in whatever they are. And then think about those who are engaging in practices of moral conduct, of pacifying their minds through meditation, concentration, so forth, and thereby developing great wisdom, insight. Think of the hardships that these practitioners go through, giving up the mind of grasping and craving. It's not easy. And developing strong concentration and wisdom, which enables them to attain nirvana. So think how wonderful it is. Such people exist, are practicing. Especially in certain monastic communities, ordained people. So many people are doing this. Wonderful. And then think of the so-called bodhisattvas. Those beings who have totally given up any kind of selfish motivation and are totally working for others, for the liberation of others, not just their own liberation. So they develop these qualities of ethics, concentration, wisdom, plus this great, great-hearted, compassion, bodhicitta, the wish to attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. Wow, these people, they just, actually they work and pray night and day for happiness of others, to relieve their suffering. One has seen people like this, so wow, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is. Amazing. Amazing. So the Guru Buddhas, you see, we say the Guru Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, extraordinary activity for others, which doesn't mean they're running around all the time, but their mind is totally dedicated for others. So by rejoicing, we create the cause to also be like that. Whereas if we were to be envious and competitive, we create the cause for, it is said, the cause for lack of success. So rejoicing is a jolly good idea, wonderful idea, wonderful practice. It's not an idea, it's a practice. Then quickly, the last three, we request our Buddhas, the teachers, Buddhas, to stay in samsara, not to pass away into parinirvana, and to teach, turn the wheel of dharma. Without authentic teachers, you see, we cannot really understand the depths of some of the more difficult texts, and even the simple ones. We don't have a good example of an authentic teacher, then very difficult to practice. So we request those teachers to remain and teach us. One way for them to remain is for us to practice and be in harmony. If we're in harmony, it's said to be very beneficial for the long lives of teachers. I mean, why should they stay and teach if the students are squabbling and misbehaving? So we have to request them to stay. And then we dedicate, as we always do, and we'll do at the end of the session, we dedicate our positive energy to the ripening of the two bodhicittas means the two bodhicittas refers to wisdom and compassion, to the wisdom realizing the truth, as well as the great compassionate wish, aspiration for enlightenment. Those are the two bodhicittas, the two minds of enlightenment, bodhicitta. Okay, then those who know can offer the mandala, which is like visualizing a very beautiful, exquisite universe full of offerings and wonderful things, offering it to the Buddhas in order to again generate a positive state of mind, wholesome state of mind, a very virtuous, full of positive energy. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure light. The objects of my attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, strangers, my body, wealth, and enjoyments. Without any sense of loss, I offer all of this. Please accept it with pleasure and bless me with freedom from the three poisons. Three poisons are ignorance, anger, attachment. Then we make heartfelt requests to, the medicine Buddhas, which again, remember the link with one's own inner guru, Buddha nature. We're really requesting them to, given the suffering that is there, you see, suffering of samsara, beginningless suffering. We're not talking just about a war or pandemic. It's much, much, much deeper than that. And it's been going on since beginningless time. For those of us who are not yet enlightened, it's been going on since beginningless time, time without beginning. So then, I beseech you, Bhagavan Medicine Guru, whose sky-colored holy body of lapis lazuli signifies omniscient wisdom and compassion as vast as limitless space, please grant me your blessings. I beseech you, compassionate Medicine Guru, who hold in your right hand the king of medicine, symbolizing your vow to help all pitiful sentient beings plagued by the 424 diseases. Please grant me your blessing. Those who wish can visualize much light, much purifying light is, blessing light is coming from Medicine Guru. I beseech you, compassionate Medicine Guru, who hold in your left hand a bowl of nectar, symbolizing your vow to get the glorious, undying nectar of the Dharma that eliminates the degenerations of sickness, old age, and death. Please grant me your blessing. Blessings is like inspiration. When you feel inspired by something, you feel blessed. You feel this warmth and maybe mixed with some delight. when there's a very holy being or somebody who really shows tremendous kindness and love to you. Because it's said that these great beings, they regard all sentient beings as though they were their only child. More love for us than a mother even. Because their love is totally unmixed with any kind of worldly, grasping or anything like that. Totally pure love and compassion. So again, feel happy that we have the seed of that in us, the Buddha nature. And because everybody has it, even mass murderers and people we think are awful, because everybody has it, it makes us generate a mind of a kind of respect towards all living beings. Everybody is can be redeemed. So now we'll skip a bit and we'll go to the last Buddha there. It's on page 12 in my version, where we have, the 7 medicine Buddhas, which will go to the main medicine Buddha, where it says, "To you, Buddha Medicine Guru," which is the Buddha whose painting we have here. So here we make strong request. We recite that verse 7 times. Then at the end, this is very important, think of people you would like to pray for. And of course, you may have started thinking of them already, whoever, people who died, people who are sick, people who are unhappy, depressed, suffering, or you can think of the people, that you see on television, in the newspapers, whatever. But, then you think strongly that medicine Buddha helps us and, to enable others to be free of their suffering and so forth. But medicine Buddha is helping us, guide us to do this. To you, Buddha Medicine Guru, King of Lapis Light, fully realized destroyer of all defilements, fully accomplished Buddha, who's fully realized the absolute truth of all phenomena, I prostrate, go for refuge, and make offerings. May your vow to benefit all sentient beings now ripen for myself and others. To you, Buddha Medicine Guru, King of Lapis Light, fully realized destroyer of all defilements, fully accomplished Buddha, who has fully realized the absolute truth of all phenomena, I prostrate, go for refuge, and make offerings. May your vow to benefit all sentient beings now ripen for myself and others. To you, Buddha Medicine Guru, King of Lapis Light, fully realized destroyer of all defilements, fully accomplished Buddha, who's fully realized the absolute truth of all phenomena, I prostrate, go for refuge, and make offerings. May your vow to benefit all sentient beings now ripen for myself and others. To you, Buddha Medicine Guru, King of Lapis Light, fully realized destroyer of all defilements, fully accomplished Buddha, who's fully realized the absolute truth of all phenomena, I prostrate, go for refuge, and make offerings. May your vow to benefit all sentient beings now ripen for myself and others. To you, Buddha Medicine Guru, King of Lapis Light, fully realized destroyer of all defilements, fully accomplished Buddha, who's fully realized the absolute truth of all phenomena, I prostrate, go for refuge, and make offerings. May your vow to benefit all sentient beings now ripen for myself and others. To you, Buddha Medicine Guru, King of Lapis Light, fully realized destroyer of all defilements, fully accomplished Buddha, who's fully realized the absolute truth of all phenomena, I prostrate, go for refuge, and make offerings. May your vow to benefit all sentient beings now ripen for myself and others. To you, Buddha Medicine Guru, King of Lapis Light, fully realized destroyer of all defilements, fully accomplished Buddha, who's fully realized the absolute truth of all phenomena, I prostrate, go for refuge, and make offerings. May your vow to benefit all sentient beings now ripen for myself and others. So strongly remember those you are praying for. Imagine much light is coming from the healing Buddha, if you wish, reaching those beings. purifying them, healing them of whatever is harming, disturbing them. Okay, so now we're going to recite the mantra. So what we do is the long mantra once, and the pronunciation is different. We do the Tibetan pronunciation, which will make more sense with the short mantra, because we're only going to do the long one once. And I will use the Tibetan pronunciation, although what is given there for the long one is more correct, possibly, in terms of the original Sanskrit. But in our tradition, we follow the parampara, the lineage of our teachers, the way they pronounce it. So for hundreds of years, it's been pronounced in the Tibetan way. And they're the ones who've kept this practice alive, mainly, for centuries. So we do that. So the long mantra once and the short mantra 21 times out loud. And then we'll recite it under our breath rapidly for a little while, and then for a little while silently. Imagine that it's reverberating in our heart. And while we are reciting, we can imagine much light, purifying blue light or white light is coming from Medicine Guru's heart into our heart and into the hearts of all the beings who we are praying for. Or if there's a particular person or being you want to pray for, then you imagine the light purifying them, and they're becoming totally transformed into the nature of light, totally purified of their problems. Okay. Is the loudspeaker still working? Do you think? Is it? It's okay? Yeah. Namo Bhagavate Vekamde Guru Vedurya Prabharadaya Tathagataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tayato Om Vekamde Vekamde Maha Vekamde Vekamde Ramza Samugate So Tayato Om Vekamde Vekamde Maha Vekamde Vekamde Ramza Sami Gate Soha Ayata Voin Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Ramza Sami Gate Soha Ayata Voin Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Randa Sami Gate Soha Taeta Voen Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Randa Sami Gate Soha Taeta Voen Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Randa Sami Gate Soha Taeta Voen Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Randa Sami Gate Soha Taeta Voen Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Ranza Sami Gate Soha Taeta Voen Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Ranza Sami Gate Soha Taeta Voen Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze
Randasani Gate Soha. Taetawo and Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Randasani Gate Soha. Taetawo and Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Randasani Gate Soha. Taetawo 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 Bekanze,
Then we develop rejoicing and think that all beings have been transformed into Medicine Buddha. All beings have been purified. Medicine Buddha absorbs into us, melts into us. Feel a sense of oneness with all the Buddhas, the ultimate Guru, the inner ultimate Guru, the Buddha nature. Then we dedicate for this particular practice that may we complete the ocean-like actions of the children of the Buddhas. May we all become the holy savior, refuge, and helper for sentient beings who have repeatedly been kind to us in past lives. By any virtues received from attempting this practice, may all living beings who see, hear, touch, or remember me, even those who merely say my name, and even those who are, saying our name with anger, in that very moment, may they be released from their miseries and experience happiness forever. As all sentient beings infinite as space are encompassed by Guru Medicine Buddha's compassion, may we too become the guide for sentient beings existing throughout all the 10 directions of the universe. Because of these virtues, may we quickly become Guru Medicine Buddha and lead each and every sentient being into his enlightened realm. Take a 1 or 2 minute break if you need. If you need to stretch or stand up, and then we'll do some Dada practice. There's hot water at the back. Venerable, you want some hot water? Yeah? Could somebody bring Venerable some hot water? Venerable, could I ask you a question while we have this break? Somebody was asking recently if they wanted to ordain, could they ordain and still look after an ailing mother? Or should an ordained person live in a monastery or nunnery? What should they do?
It generally depends on the teacher's advice.
What if they don't have a teacher yet, but they have a very strong feeling to become a monk or nun?
The person who ordains them should give the advice.
Person who ordains should give the advice.
Explain the situation, what's happening. Normally, especially not Christian, the teacher would say yes, of course, the parent is more important than the monastery.
Parents more
important than the monastery that's doing it. But it depends,
Depends,
To see how strong the mind is of the person, can have all the bells. The lay situation is difficult for them.
I mean, if a parent really needs help because of sickness, then maybe the teacher would give advice. Yeah. Thank you.
Said novice vow well, massive community. Many cases.
Yeah.
Like even from my monks to France, something to go back after period, and how we would say that's
much more important than study. Yeah. Yeah.
The kindness that parent gave you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Because I know for younger people, Rinpoche advises, if you're very young, 7 years, monks should be in a monastery or something, and nuns maybe 2 or 3 years or something. Seems like nuns are more pacified. They only need 3 years. But what is it? The teachings often, I don't know why they say, nuns have to beware of quarreling. I don't know. Why do nuns quarrel? Don't monks quarrel?
Yeah,
Monks
I think I'm not saying it. It seems to be more envy between women.
Envy.
Yeah.
You think?
Not sure. But even in Shantideva's time, it's a verse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Okay.
even in France, you see, the original nunnery we had in France
Ah,
now disbanded.
really?
Because, yeah,
Oh,
people came together,
no Japan.
and each one left to do retreats or teaching, but then, so the question is, how come they didn't want to come back? They go up, and then people stay outside and come back. So it's difficult to be together.
Hmm.
Only recently they started again now. But even
Yeah.
now it's difficult. Some people say, I don't know if it's that person because it's political.
Yeah. Okay. You have 1 more minute, folks, because we want to do some practice and then have some time for people who need to leave at 8 for them to have some prasad before they leave. What is a puja without prasad? Agony. We cannot. I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. There's no hot water or Coca-Cola with old monk. This is okay. That would really give a zing to the Tara practice.
This old monk is pretty hard here.
So with the Tara practice, again, we don't have to repeat all the prayers we did for the medicine Buddha. So mainly we will get a sense of what she looks like, which so a little image there in the middle. There's the green Tara. So it's described here. She's again in the nature of light, and she's on a lotus and moon seat. And don't worry about the guru there. That becomes complicated. Just if you have a guru, of course, then you know what to do. You do that. But otherwise, just visualize Tara, green in color, seated in a dancing posture, meaning with the right foot extended, left foot bent, right outstretched. This symbolizes ability, willingness to leap into enlightened activity to benefit others at the moment's notice. She's an active, very active principle of compassion. Very beautiful myth. What a story of her being born from the tears of the Buddha of compassion. So she's really very powerful, active compassion. Got it. Left hand at her heart symbolizes Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and she holds the blue Pali flower. Right hand by her right knee is in the mudra of granting sublime realizations. Yeah, I'm sorry you don't all have a nice picture with your sadhana, but yeah, her right hand is by her right knee. When you get home, you can Google Tara, see very beautiful images on the net. And if you go to Majnu Katila in Delhi, you can buy posters. Okay, so then she's beautifully adorned with jewel ornaments and scarves, and she has the syllables Om at her forehead, A, red A at her throat, and Hong, blue Hong at her heart. This is for visualization purpose and so forth. You don't need to worry about that too much now. And she has that C syllable below, Tam, also at her heart, a radiant green letter, Tam, which is radiating rays of green light, which hook and bring back all of the enlightened beings of the universe, so that we imagine Tara is the embodiment of all the enlightened beings. And then we also imagine that, much light is coming from her holy body. So we will usually we recite the mantra first and then the praises. Do you think it matters a lot, Venerable, whether we do mantras or praises first? What do you reckon? We need your imprimatur, your seal of approval. And I won't hold it against you if you want. It's because somehow yeah. Anyway, let's
So even saying the praise, people visualize like it.
yeah. So mantra first. So, yeah, so once we've done that sense of the mantra, then we visualize all the taras, a very amazing activity. And at that point, if you want to prostrate, then Sonali ji, you can prostrate. So the mantra is towards the end of the sadhana, in my version. Anyway, you'll find it in this version. In one version, it's on page it's early on in the text, I think. Yeah, it's on page 8 in one of the versions. Anyway, you'll find it on Tare tu Desoha, right? You can find it somewhere. Could you help Anjali, please, with the text, Nandita, where the mantra is? Yeah, so we imagine strongly Arya Tara and we pray, because she helps liberate us from the fears of samsara and helps us develop this powerful, courageous compassion to benefit others. Of course, she's a fully enlightened Buddha, so she helps us to do everything that any Buddha helps us to do, but specifically she said she helps with the fears. Okay, and as we recite the mantra, we can imagine much light, marvelous green light coming from her heart and dissolving into us and all the beings around us who are living in anxiety and fear and suffering and so forth. And she's really, her light is reaching out powerfully and compassionately. And it's not just light. Our teacher says to also visualize nectar. It's like light and nectar together, like a kind of waterfall, light and nectar. And you must feel that this Tam and the mantra, they are manifestations of Guru Tara's enlightened mind, which is with which our minds also can be united. So again, don't see Tara as something very far away. Tara is something also within us. Yeah. Okay, so again, 21 times out loud, and then we can recite under our breath for a while, and then silently. And then we will recite the praises.
Om Tare tu Tare Tere Soha. 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 Om Tare tu Tare Tere Soha.
In some of the texts, there is an English chantable version of the praises, which you'll find. I'm going to recite it in Tibetan. I find that most beneficial for my mind, and it has a certain rhythm and power to it. But you can just meditate, you can visualize light coming from all these different manifestations, aspects of avatars, if you like, of Tara energy. Some are peaceful, some are semi-wrathful, some are quite wrathful, but all of them are, of course, motivated by great compassion and wisdom. However, much the words seem to emphasize even violence in some cases, but it's all for the sake of destroying our delusions and the negativity in our mind. So my text doesn't have the invocation and the praise at the beginning. So maybe somebody, Venerable, does your text have the? Could you recite that, please, in English, maybe?
From your sublime abode, Otara, born from green that come, the crown adorned with action mother, Buddha's free hand, Tara, east come. The gods and demigods bow to your lotus feet of Tara. You rescue all the destitute to you,
And then that last verse you recited a few times in Tibetan.
Jose Domanu Mapa, Ma, Jenny Kejela Dama, Jitin Jagujiki, Gesoje Walenijo, Ma, Jose de Dawakon, Kawagyan is a Pejal, Ma, Kamadoba Zopanam, Kira Tuche Vera Param, Jose de Kireki, Pemejani Nabrakia, Jimazo da Gadeji was the Bazam de Joyone, Ma, Jose de Jenjapezo, Tayin Brakia Watcher, Malubaro Jimana, the Gilazaki Jinjama, Jose. Dodo Dodo Kagama, Jidin the Gijaki Nente, de Pame Pakupani, Chazaka de Melatamba, Lona the one Jama, Yobodola de Dona, Najinjaki de Nete, Chazada de Dona Peki, Parotogora to Jama, Yakan Yakijaki Nente, Nepato Katin to Barama, Chaze to Regi Pate, Yogi Bavana Jama, Jiki de Nete. So the Jogi, Somoto Karanam Pakiem, Paluchoki Korlokiem, Rangi Yokisanando, so the Degavaji, Yogi Nagi Tewapelma, Jelera Chitota Raji, Totanji Tewan the Tem, so the Jenny, Danjaki Bandimani, Tade Tavino Ige Hongi, Pomadam Jenobratoma, Jose David in the Gang, Patam Chitu Barama, Repetana Pamele, Tamrasindu Arab. Jose Kameta Mete, Boliting Leonanema, Yiki Niko, Daipuni Brajoma, Jose Danino Lacha, Tegi de Jagidoma, Tony de Ike Hoinki, Ripato Bonanike, Jose de Magema, Nani de Yonima, Sohoya Dante, de Bajamonia Mani. Jose Gonegara Gawi, Dailuni Brakema, Yiki Juvenanike, Ripa Holeto Mani. Jose Tureda Nitape, Hongina Bezovani, Morida Nanaji, Jidezoyoni, Mo, Jose Nombre, Ilana Janana, Taranijo Peggy, Nuna Malupani Selma, Chazela Isunum Gelpo, Latoni Achiete, Kunigajaki, Sura Milania Mazalma, Jose Nimadawa Kiape, Jenny Palarapta. Ora nijo tuta rai jindu da bore netelma jade deni penem ki jive da yanan dema doda rola no de zona jomba tere rabjoni sawe na kita padina jade wani ni sufa ya twice more om je tsoma pama doma la jade lo jade doma nyuma pama jeni ke jilo danda jide de ke kesa de wale ni joma jade da izindi Kuntu Gawagani Sepeshama, Kamatopa Sopanamki, Rapuchevera Parama, Chatetiniki, Pemechani Nakiama, Chimazo Katushi, Soba Zombitu Yunimo, Chateshi Pesoto, Tayen Ragawachama, Malu Paruchi Pato, Gawaseki to them, Jose Tutara Hungi, Dono Kokoma, Jitendo Gadinete, Lopane Pagipanima, Jose Meloso. Pelma, Jeverati Tutarai, Tutagene Wandama, Tazino, Tadi Bani Mani, Tony Jewi, Hongi, Pompatam Genobratoma, Chazete, Gang, Patamation to Parama, Repetana Apamene, Cabrashin to Ramzama, Chazeta Metameneta, Maviking Yunane. Jiggy Jiggy Jiggy, Raipunin Bratoma, Chazeta Jagi, Jiggy Tom. Tonejenze ige hoengi. Shodele mage machi ma, nyani jeji joyoni ma, soho oyanda dandebe, dipaje mojo mani ma, chaze kune garagawi, dairuni no prakem. Ige jabena nikabe, ripado vedo vani ma, chaze tore dani tabe, humina bezo vani. Prira mandara dambije, didenzo yoani ma, chaze lai soi nampe, rirata te chananam. Tara nijo peki ge dona malupani selma jazela isunam gelpo lada mia chi tema kune kaja gawa chi ki sura melania paselma jazeli madawa kiepe cheni palara selma ara nijo tutarai Sido da poremne selma jazete nisunam kiti sivido da yandandema dogarola de zona jombaduri da pionima Savena kita patina jazewanini suso. By the way, the 20th Tara is specific for epidemics and plagues. Yeah, the 20th one. Oh, yes, Pama Doma La Charles, Lord, Jolly Doma Juma Pamo, Jenny Kitilo Dama, Chide Juki Jaki, Kesa de Walenijo, Jose de Kunto, Kawagani Sepechama, Kamadoma Zopanamki, Rapuche, Parama, Jose de Geneki, Peregrino Ragema, Jipasu Katuji, was the Patamito Yonima, Jose de Soto, Tayen Ragawacha, Malo Parati Pato, Gewasiki to Tema, Chase to Tarangi, Dono Kaka, Chile Jagi Nende, Lupane Bagipanima, Chase Gademela Samba, Lona Juma, Chiporola Bizona, Nedi Dama, Jadena Peggy, Parotokara Bujo, Yegi Nende, Nepato Brasitu Parama, Chase Tureti Pacempo, Tukipa on Brajo. Chiquete, Autumn to Malusoma, Chasecon Jagi, Soboto Granam Pagiema, Malushiki Logiem, Rangi Gizunam, Chasera de Gipe, Yogina Gita Pelma, Chevera de Tukarai, Tuda de Wandu Sema, Chaseta de Joisonam, Kamji Banimani, Tony de Wigi Hoinki, Papatam de Nombratoma, Chaseta de Gang, Patam to Baram, Repetana Pamele, Cabrajintu Arabsema, Chate Condecono, Piavetana Nema, Yiki Gagi, Daipuni Brajoma, Chate Zajijola Jai, Tiggy Doma, Tone de Ige Hoinki, Ripatu Ponanike, So yono dende, ribaje bojo banima, chate kone karaka, tailo ni namrakemo, yike jobe no nikupe, ripa hole do manima, chate ture zanitape, hoge nabe so banima, rira mendara gambi, chide do yo animo, chate lo izo inope, rido to te chanana, Tara nijo beki yige dona mali pani salma chazela isanam gelpo lodoni oji tema kunige jige waji solo mila nyamba salma chazele mano gepe teni palara sal hara nijo totarai shindu da poremne salma chazele nisanam ki siwe dodo yodom dema dodo 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 nyambo dore rojo ne sawe nakita pati na chase wani nesu so
And there's a condensed praise, I think, which is written by a Tisha, the great Tisha. Om to the transcendent subduer, Arya Tara, I prostrate. Homage to the glorious one who frees with Tare. With Totara, you calm all fears. You bestow all success with Ture. To the sound, Swaha, I pay great homage. So please, we must now dedicate that we quickly become like Arya Tara and lead each and every being to her enlightened road. And that the jewel-like mind of great compassion, Bodhicitta, that hasn't arisen, arises and grows in us, and which that has arisen, then may it not diminish, but grow more and more. May, in all our rebirths, may we never be separated from perfect spiritual masters and enjoy the magnificent Dharma. And may we complete all of the qualities of the stages and paths, the steps of the path, and quickly achieve the state of the Buddha, Vajradhara. Another way of talking about the Buddha, Vajradhara. So now we must dedicate for all of us, our families, our friends, people who are suffering, people who just died, people who are dying, people who are unhappy, lonely, sick, depressed. May they be free of that. May we be like, lamps for others. May we help guide others, inspire others. May whoever has anything to do with us be benefited by that connection, even if it may appear to be negative. They may be harming us or criticizing us, but may it create the cause for them to awaken at some point. So may we become wish fulfilling for others. May our teachers, especially His Holiness of the Mahayana, Kyabji Lama Zogun Pache, Kyabji Lingam Pache, His Holiness Karmapa, Dongsarim Pache, Mingyurim Pache, all the great lamas of all the traditions who are helping beings, authentically giving teachings, helping beings, have long and healthy lives, all their wishes be fulfilled. May all the monastics who are studying, meditating, may their studies and meditation be successful, and may they be happy in their situation. May Tushita Center really grow and benefit. May we find all the people we need to run the program properly. There's possibility maybe of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, our spiritual guide, visiting us later in the year. May that happen, and may it be very, very beneficial for many people if it happens. Meanwhile, may all the centers of the organization benefit. May our fledgling project in Kushinagar, the Maitreya project in Kushinagar, UP, may that grow and be of most benefit, greatest benefit to all sentient beings. And then just remember your own dedications and dedicate strongly for people and whatever you need, want for your happiness and spiritual path. Okay, thank you very much. So I think some people have to leave by 8. I think Anjali, you have to leave by 8. So if somebody could offer some prasad to those who are in a hurry to leave. There's a lot of different things. Prasad is prasad, but anything you prefer, Anjali? Anything you like, especially?
No, whatever.
You like greasy fried food, or you like fruit? क्या पसंद होगा? है तो सब अमृत, क्योंकि पूजा हो गया, लेकिन फिर भी you might prefer something.
whatever I get.
Whatever, Nandita, could you give her whatever?
Okay.
I hope that this is Anjali's first time here. I hope it was useful. And so we have a program only till the 13th, I'm afraid, because I have to go away, and then it will be on Zoom again. But we hope to continue later also with sessions here at Tushita. I wish I could be in two places at once, but I can't. Yeah. And the 18th is a special day. Try and do some practice on the 18th full moon. That's the end of the 2-week period of the Tibetan, first 2 weeks of the Tibetan New Year. So that's a very auspicious holy day. Ah, is that Nilashi? Hi, hi there. So, please practice a lot on that day. Well, remember to recite a mantra or two or generate compassion on that day, the 18th. किसी ने कुछ दिया आपको अभी नहीं? दे रहे? You're at it. Good. Well, you don't need to pack it like Amazon pack things. Yeah.
So what is the program after this?
After
this, what will be continued?
अभी तो नाच गाना होगा बहुत कुछ होगा. You're missing. Then we put on the special lights, and then Venerable goes up and meditates, and we dance. I'm joking. Good. We'll just eat, and some of us, and then we'll pack up and we'll go back to our wherever we are. क्या करें? यही करना पड़ता है ना. Meeting leads to parting. क्या करें? Yeah. Thanks for coming, and I'll send you the information. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're regular people.
Regular, some of them have been regulars in the past, some of them irregulars, like reservists, वो बोलते हैं ना, reservists. This is a puja, they come for the, for the prasad. But otherwise, yeah, they're all good people, actually, I think. Yeah, we haven't had any problems with any of them yet. Some regulars, like who was sitting next to you was Sujit, used to come, but now he lives in Dehradun and has to go to Patna sometimes. His dad is in Patna, so he hasn't been able to come from. And Nandita, his wife, in Orange, they haven't been able to come. Who has met Rinpoche here? Very few, maybe. Who? Rebecca has met Rinpoche.
I've attended one of
You've
his
attended,
teachings.
yeah. Twice, Rebecca. हाँ, Venerable को दीजिए कुछ. Sorry, Venerable को दीजिए. This is very remiss. आप. हाँ जी.
That's one thing I remember about it. All the
Yeah, but he's not sorry, big joke.
Say hello to the poor
Oh, he's laughing.
Zoom people.
So happy.
They might be feeling lonely there. Hello, everyone. I wish you were all here. Oh, nobody, everyone's gone.
I might
Okay.
not have said that.
Yeah, well, maybe they're not. They're there.
Try to meet her.
It would be very
Okay.
nice if she can come. I have not attended.
You can open the whole thing. Maybe you
I'll
have to,
just
you have to go to
stop the
view.
recording.
Well, you go to Dharamsala.
You have to go.